name is Rita Alfaro. I'm the music librarian for Fort Worth Public Library, and you're tuning into Off the Record, our interview series with our Amplify 817 artists. And tonight we have Simone Nicole.
Hello, this is my song Subtle.
So if you want to tell us more about your inspirations behind the writing process that you had for these songs.
Sure.
Yeah.
So Subtle, it kind of, I don't know, I was very single at the time and had a few moments where like you walk into a room and you just see this really stunning person and you kind of gravitate towards them, and that's kind of what that whole song's about, and it kind of leaves a cliffhanger whether it's like a good ending or a bad ending. And then Tangerine was a personal experience, kind of like a hopeful love that didn't work out situation. And then Coming Home was one that, I think it's a song I've always wanted to write. I've always wanted to write like a cute love song for my future person. And I was trying to find inspiration, forced myself to sit down and actually write a song, and happened to be scrolling through Instagram and saw people line dancing, and the line, "If you would ask me to dance, I would dance," popped up, and then the whole song kind of wrote itself after that.
So a lot of personal experiences in your songs. How long have you been writing songs?
I think I started around 12, but I don't think I knew what I was doing. I was just trying to find an outlet for my emotions, or like, 'cause I never felt like I could talk to anybody, so I gravitated towards my notebook and just kind of went from there, and yeah, it kind of turned into its own beast.
So what inspired you to kind of get into music?
Ooh, I don't know. It's always been around me. Like I grew up with my dad playing guitar and my mom would sing, and they weren't professionals or anything, but their family grew up singing together, and so I was always around it, and I would be like singing in my room for like 6 hours for like days trying to mimic people's voices or sing and harmonize and all of this. So it all kind of just, I don't know, whenever I started singing outside of my bedroom is kind of when things started to take off.
So do you remember your first, I guess, big music experience or performance, and what was that like for you?
I know the very first thing I tried, I went to an open mic. It's not even there yet anymore. It was like a coffee shop, I think, in North Richland Hills, and I went just to check it out, and then there was this guy there, and he was just like, "Oh, you play too? You should go play a song." And I was like, "No, I'm not gonna play." I was too scared, and I ended up going up there, and I can't remember. I think I played my song "Smile," which is a super old song now, but and I just got up there. I played the song. I played it way too fast, and my voice wanted to go way higher than it was supposed to, just from all the adrenaline.
Yeah. The adrenaline and nerves will do that to you. You'll discover notes that you're like, I didn't even know I could sing that note.
Yeah, and as soon as the song was done, I just ran off stage. It was like, oh, that was terrifying.
But you did it. You got it out of your system, and I assume you started doing more open mic nights after that and performances. Yeah. So what was the first, I guess, like official gig that you booked?
Oh man, I know I don't know if it was, I don't think it was a paying gig. I played for tips, but I used to play at Manny G's in Keller all the time. Yeah. It's like this little tiny bar. I believe it's still there. I don't know if they still do live music, but...
Well, if they're still there, shout out to them.
Yes.
So you are a very busy woman. If people don't follow you yet, they'll see that you have tons of performances every month. I'm amazed that you're not just exhausted from it.
Sometimes I am.
But where do you play most often, and do you have some like favorite venues that you really love that you're kind of a regular at?
Yeah. So I play at Gemelli a lot over here in Fort Worth. I play there pretty regularly, and I usually bring a song swapper with me, or like another artist to swap songs with. And then some of my other favorite venues are like Tolbert's and Grapevine. The Rustic in Dallas is super fun. Maine at South Side.
Shout out to Mass, we love them.
And where else? Magnolia Motor Lounge is really cool. There's so many. It's like hard to keep track sometimes. Yeah,
there really is tons of venues, and we try to reach out to all of them because they're all just doing just really great, unique things. And especially during, COVID, when everything was shut down, everybody kind of had to switch gears and figure out what they were doing. And so many of them just got really creative with what they were doing. Yes. But I guess during the shutdown, when you couldn't totally perform, 100%, what were you kind of working on?
So I stopped for like 6 months, and I ended up taking a course to learn about sync licensing, and so that is kind of where I'm gravitating towards. And it was, what was the course called? It was like 6-figure songwriting, I think by Catch the Moon, and that like took up the entire 6 months that I wasn't performing, which was perfect. So that I pretty much stayed focused on that, and then obviously it was very hard in general because all of these other things were pouring in, and it was very emotional, and I don't know, it's probably one of my more darker moments, just with struggling. And
I think a lot of people, just things were happening and everybody was kind of in that like flight or fight mode, sort of, almost, even though we're just at home, but still it was just a lot of things happening, and I think people are just kind of coming out of it still, even though we're still kind of in this weird state, but it's just a new normal. New normal. So you're not from Fort Worth, correct? Or are you from the DFW area?
I've been in the DFW area since I was 8, but not originally from here. Okay. But I feel like I'm pretty much from here.
Not born, but raised from the area. So how do you feel about the Fort Worth music scene, and how has it kind of, I guess, inspired you or helped you grow as an artist?
I love it so much. I've never really been a part of a community before, and I know the very first person I met here was Skylar Payne, and he kind of introduced me to everybody and like brought me along to all his shows and stuff. And then I started meeting all of the other musicians, and then I started hopping to some of the like other venues and meeting like a whole different crowd of musicians. And I don't know, everyone's like so supportive of each other here.
So that's kind of a good stepping stone for us, because we always talk about Amplify 817, and that's what we're kind of trying to do, is kind of target different communities and help people kind of connect with each other. How do you feel about being an Amplify 817 artist?
I think it's awesome. I've never heard of anyone doing something like this before for artists, and it's super cool that you get to like hang out at libraries and have the option to listen to local music, and it's like two creative things in one.
Yeah. Does it surprise you that the library is putting something like this on?
I don't know if it's surprising, but I'm surprised it hasn't happened before.
There's a few. I will shout out to the other Music at Rabble libraries who do have the platform. I think there's like 14 others around the United States.
I didn't know that.
Do that. Yeah. So we're our own little community too, who are just really supportive of local artists. But I guess last question is if you have anything else you want to say that we might have missed or talked about. Any upcoming albums, gigs, things that you want to?
I do have quite a few songs coming out soon. I'm trying to self-produce my next single, which is a work in progress because there's a lot to learn.
I was gonna say that's a whole beast on its own.
Yeah.
Is production.
I'm here right now and I want to be here. But yeah, that'll be for a song called Lullaby, which has a really fun story behind it. And then I've been collaborating with a whole bunch of people that I met through the course last year. And there's a song coming out called Divine, and I wrote it with Marina Bennett, who's in Canada. And it's very different, it's very pop, which is very different from the stuff that I have out right now.
Well, thank you so much for talking with us today.
Yeah,
We really appreciate it. And now we're gonna take you to the stage to hear you perform Tangerine and Coming Home.
Yeah, I hope you guys enjoy the performance. Yeah. All right, this next song is my last release, and it's called Tangerine, and I hope you like it. The stars have light. That's what you said last night. But words can't be trusted. So early in the morning, and I never would have left your side if I didn't have to get back to life. But now the only thing I'm wishing for is another escape through your doors. Just another day on the floor. Tangerine. Oh, the night was alive, and I could feel it in the fire. But these days, touch means nothing. Even early sky. I guess the stars didn't align. Oh, let me get back to life. Just another escape through the door. Just another day on the floor. All right, this is my last song, and you can find this one on Amplify 817, along with the rest of the album, and I hope you enjoy it. It's called Coming Home. I can't remember if I said that. If you would ask me to dance, I
Off the Record is produced by the Fort Worth Public Library in support of our dynamic Fort Worth arts and cultural community. Amplify 817 is made possible in part through the financial support of the Fort Worth Public Library Foundation and community support of Here Fort Worth.